Seconders now, Leader of Opposition.
Much obliged, Right Honourable Speaker. I join the Right Honourable Prime Minister in seconding the motion, paying tribute to the late Honourable Joyce Mpanga. Right Honourable Speaker, I like your choice of words in your preamble, the preamble of your communication, to the effect that this is very deserving. Of course, the Speaker has been around long enough to know that probably deserving has qualifications, and therefore some people are more qualified than others. So I join you in that agreement that actually this was really most deserving. Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, we are here today to pay tribute to an astute leader, the Honourable Joyce Mpanga, who has diligently served this nation in all portfolios she held. On behalf of my family and the opposition in Parliament, I condole with the family and the rest of the country for the loss of Honourable Joyce Mpanga. Right Honourable Speaker, for her legacy and great contribution to our nation, the opposition in Parliament has elected to momentarily return to the House for this special sitting. Given her strong advocacy and impeccable record in the realm of the rule of law and respect of human rights and freedoms. I have used the word momentarily on purpose because then after we shall safely return to our clean bunkers until further notice. Right Honourable Speaker, the country mourns a spirited patriot, a mother, and an incorruptible leader who dedicated all her life prioritizing the interests of the people. She has been known as a woman of many fasts, and her accomplishments, well enumerated, have inspired many in the academic world and governance. She has been a renowned champion of women's rights, one of the first women to be nominated to the Uganda National Assembly, Legico as known then. First African woman lecturer in the Faculty of Education at Mackay University, first female graduate with a master's degree, first Minister of Women Affairs in Uganda, first female Minister for Primary Education in Uganda, and Girls High School's first African Deputy Headmistress. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, Honourable Mpanga's contribution to Uganda's education sector and development cannot be discounted. She has served in different capacities in the education sector, rising from a classroom teacher to become a minister. She used this time and space to advocate for specifically girl child education. We shall remember her for her candid advisory to Mr. Museveni on the management of the sector, to wit, the management of universal primary education, and also the appointment of Mrs. Museveni as the Minister of Education, and of course the non-regulation of school fees in private schools. Right Honourable Speaker, owing to the decline in the rule of law, which characterized the post-independence era, Honourable Mpanga left for England in exile a year after the attack on the Lobiri in 1966, and only returned to Uganda in 1972. While in exile, she switched back to her career as an elementary school teacher. Honourable Mpanga in her memoir titled, "It's a Pity She's Not a Boy." She recounts the impunity that consumed and engulfed the 1970s regime, and how politicians often got drunk on power at the expense of the people they served. And I want to encourage you, Right Honourable Speaker, members of Parliament, to fall in love with reading and not read history for the sake of passing exams, but for knowledge as they are at the service of alma mater. She writes about a military officer who was the finance minister at the time, with all powers authorized for the currency exchange. She was in dire need of forex to evacuate her husband, a former Buganda Attorney General, Frederick Mpanga, for specialized treatment. The minister unfortunately summarily declined the application, and a few months later, Mr. Mpanga passed on. It is such injustices that motivated some individuals to take up arms under the guise of liberating the nation in the 80s. In that regard, the deceased has been a key pillar in the process of democratizing Uganda. Sadly, like many, as we speak today, all efforts to democratize our country are being undermined by the incumbent rulers through unconscionable amendments to the Constitution, impunity, outright disregard of the rule of law. Right Honourable Speaker and comrades, members of Parliament, I want to remind you that some of the very crucial things that prompted Honourable Mpanga to flee to exile are in existence today. The enforced disappearance of our people, political persecution, and gross rights violations, which have again forced our countrymen and women to flee for safety. Until we address some of these issues, to democratize our country, it's not yet uhuru. Right Honourable Speaker, we recognize this granddaughter of this our motherland for her invaluable contribution to the restoration of traditional institutions. She will be remembered for her selfless service to His Majesty the Kabaka and the people of Uganda. Right Honourable Speaker, I'm a beneficiary out of her mentorship. You know, mentorship, the best form of mentorship is by role modeling. You don't need a board in front of you. And to some of us, loyal servants of His Majesty, she was a role model. People like the Honourable Muyingo, with whom we served, will attest to the fact that she was loyal. And we owe her. Right Honourable Speaker, as I conclude, I'd like to applaud her as a mother for taking care of her children. She's not leaving behind a problem to the nation, but rather very diligent servicemen and women of this, our motherland. We appreciate her. May the soul of our beloved mother, the Honourable Joyce Mpanga, rest in eternity. We stand with the family in this moment of agony. His Majesty the Kabaka, where she served as a Luchiko member, and the nation at large for this great loss. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Leader of Opposition.